Good afternoon, Southwest Georgia. It is your friendly neighborhood weatherman, Davis the Max. Hope everybody's having a great, wonderful morning or afternoon, rather. I don't know where that came from. Here in Georgia. Just wanted to get on here very briefly and discuss some of our possibilities of some wind tonight. Right now, the Storm Prediction Center has us under a marginal risk, meaning not very likely, but not out of the question for some gusty winds, possibly some damaging winds this evening, mainly to our extreme southernmost counties here. I'm pulling up now the outlook from them so we can talk about that. I should have had that up already. So we're gonna go over here and talk about that for just a minute. Okay, as you can see here, this is our current radar in Georgia right here. And the beautiful thing about it is there's not too much going on right now. As you can see, there's an orange box here that kind of just outlines the general scope for this wind threat this evening here. Mainly in this area, but really I would say more so right south of this line. So anything to the south of that line, I would be the most concerned about having a possible wind event or something, especially in some of these more potent cells right there. As you can see down towards our southern and our eastern counties out towards Savannah and some other areas. Once again, this is not a organized threat. This is a contingent type threat here. The Storm Prediction Center says scattered and numerous thunderstorms should develop this afternoon along and south of a cold front draped east to west across parts of the southeast. Although mid-level flow and related deep layer shear will remain modest, the steep and low-level lapse rates through daytime heating and plentiful level moisture will support moderate to strong instability. Occasional strong to damaging winds may occur with the more robust cores and loosely organized clusters as they generally move southward through the early evening before eventually weakening. I will say this much: I've looked at the local area forecast, and I'm gonna make my official forecast for this. Like I said, I'm not really worried about Georgia. Really, it's the northern Florida in between these two blue lines I just drew. That's where I would be the most concerned up into, like I say, maybe some of these eastern storms out that way as they begin to move offshore. But for us here in the southern southwest Georgia region of the state, I'm not very worried about much. Like I say, I've been wrong before. I don't like being wrong, but when I am wrong, especially in these cases, it makes me happy because nobody needs any wind events today at all. So as you can see, and once again, it's only a 5% chance. If I show you this right here, you see it says 5%, and here's that same thing that I just read off right there. So like I say, at the current time, there's no real reason for concern. There's no real reason to stop what you're doing or wait. By the time it's forecast to get storms in our area here in the Sumter and our surrounding counties area is like 9 or 10 o'clock. So by that time, like they were mentioning, the daytime heating will be gone. It'll be cooling off drastically by that time. So any storms that linger will probably just be noisy thunderstorms, if nothing, if even just rain showers. It wouldn't surprise me if for our area we stay without it. Now, as you can see, there's some little cells over here on the Cuseta, the Alabama side of Cuseta and Richland and all that are building that I do expect to further develop. Changing radar sites here from Macon down here, you'll see they look a little more defined here on that local radar, but you can see they're already got a little bit of thunder. But once again, remember, guys, that these storms are not going to be fast moving today. Most of these storms, like if you look on some of these special weather statements and stuff, you'll notice that they're not moving very fast, maybe 25, 35 miles an hour. So even if that was to make its way up this way at 35 miles an hour, by the time it gets here and starts being concerning, as you can see, it won't even reach Americus at 35 till I just saw it too. it'll be well into 109 minutes, which is well over an hour. So probably more like an hour and a half. So even then, you're getting into the later parts of the evening where storm growth is gradually becoming hindered by the evening cooling and stuff. Whoopsies. But yeah, like I say, just wanted to brief everybody. Like I say, if you live in our far southern counties, or like we talked about a minute ago, some of our more eastern counties over towards Savannah, Statesboro, that area, Charleston, South Carolina, I've got some followers in that area as well. There's nothing much to be concerned about. Like I say, you see there's a special weather statement for this one moving into Pooler. So Anthony, if you're watching, it might be time for you to move your Mustang inside in case of small hail. Um, but yeah, like I say, nothing really concerning at this time. I wouldn't say at all. Nothing to run home about. Looking over here at my other radar, it shows about the same picture here. Nothing major, just a couple of special weather statements. It doesn't even look like that one even has a special weather statement anymore. Now, these down here that are moving south right here towards Tallahassee, just to the east of Tallahassee, those do look like they may have a wind threat in them. We can look at here and see what it's doing here, but it does look like these may be having some, in these brighter spots, some heavier winds, a nice little gust front right there. Looks like that might be closer to about 30 to 40 miles an hour, or knots rather. So that might be, if you live down near Blountstown, Crawfordville, over to the east side of Crawford, west side of Crawfordville, Choppy, that's a unique name. That's a tongue twister. You may get a little bit of gust out of that because that had a nice bow to it. Typically when you see this shape right here, especially when you see that notch right there, you start to worry about the possibility of some wind. And especially when it's extremely exaggerated like that and it very abruptly makes like a V, you start really being concerned about, is this going to become a wind event? And like I say right there, it does confirm that there may be some pretty gusty winds in there. 50 knots is about 55 to 57 miles an hour. So just be considerate of that if you live in the path of this storm. Thankfully, there's nothing really major till you get to Apalachicola. No too big of a city to cause too much damage to, I don't think. I'm not from Florida, but I'm kind of familiar with that area. Now, on down the road, if you live down here in Huachca, that's a unique name, and Mexico Beach, and down there in Port St. Joe, I should have known that because I've been there, or Panama City, you may want to watch out for this line right here as it continues to track eastward and develop a little bit further. Like I say, that does look like it could have the possibilities, especially since you see it's back growing in that new scan. It just it back grew, and now that's still staying pretty well defined. It's in a very typical shape, but that notch in front of it, that's kind of weird. So like I say, hit or miss, but according to velocity mode, you could be getting closer to about 40 knots of wind right through in these high patch areas right there, the lighter colors, the salmon pink ones. But other than that, like I say, there's nothing to run home about right now. There's nothing to panic about, but like I say, just recommending generally right now that we get ready to assess our plans in the evening. If you've got sports events, church events, any kind of outdoor events, it would be highly recommended to just keep an eye on the weather this evening, like I say. And of course, if it does get bad, if it does get concerning anywhere that we can be of service coverage to, meaning mostly Southwest Georgia and the North Florida area, I will definitely without hesitation get back on here and help relay information and get it out there as best as I can. As you guys know, I am here. I'm monitoring. If you need anything, if you have questions, feel free to comment on this video, share the video to your friends. Like say, help them be at ease that it might happen, but probably won't. That's just how a lot of this stuff goes, especially it only being a 5% chance of severe weather today. It really just does not line up for a major wind event today. Possibly some nice gust, brief, strong gust. But like I say, mainly worried about the rain rain event now that we're moving and the wind moving into the traffic hour, mainly, like I say, down here at the coast in Panama City to Apalachicola over to Carabel. Y'all, it's been great talking to you again, and